Hello everybody. This is just a very short, spontaneous live chat that I set up because I recently decided to switch back to Lightroom this year. So I will go from Capture One, which I've been using the last couple of years, to Lightroom this year. And I developed a process, let's call it like that, over the last couple of years using Capture One. And I want to see how much of that I can apply in Lightroom, how much I need to retrain myself to learn Lightroom. And yeah, so I just shot a couple of photos with my Leica M-D just a couple of weeks back with a friend here in Zurich. I haven't edited them yet, and I thought this is a good opportunity to jump into Lightroom. So I think I just have a couple of photos and I want to go through this workflow. And if you are with me here in the live stream and you're an experienced Lightroom user, for example, as I am going, please use the chat function. Let me know that you're there and tell me if you would do something differently, or if you think I'm doing the right thing, or maybe you even learn something from how I will potentially use Lightroom now. Yeah, so with my Capture One knowledge. Anyway, let's go into Lightroom and start with the photos. So here is the first photo. I am in the develop view of Lightroom. Let me quickly check something. Yep. So, okay. These are the photos at the bottom that I took with the Leica M-D. I have a chat window in the background, by the way. I will switch back and forth from time to time just to see if anyone said something. Oh, I see already a chat here. I just did the same switch to Capture One 6 years ago from Lightroom. Now just went back to Lightroom. Okay, cool. Yeah, for me, AI masking, I'm curious. I haven't tried it yet. I heard of it. Maybe we'll come to that later, and maybe you can point me to where that function is. I switched it because I got a little bit annoyed with the new licensing model and the update policy of Capture One. So the software itself was very good. So anyway, here I am back with Lightroom. So what I will do now is show you what I do first when I just read my photos from the SD card and just filter which photos I want to edit. In Capture One, I set myself up that I use the number key 678 to mark the photos red, yellow, or green. So red is I want to discard a photo. Yellow is I might want to edit the photos, and green definitely one that I want to edit. So let's just quickly go through those photos and filter, and I'll show you how to do that. I already checked Lightroom has the same key 678. So this photo, I must say, I don't like. So it's a 6. You will see here at the lower, at the bottom, you see a red border around the photo. That's kind of like the color that I chose. So this one is better. Let's see, what is the next one? I like this one. So let's keep this one green. This one also red. Okay, here are like two similar ones. I like how that person in the background with the oranges. So I'll keep this one green. The other one, I'll go red. Then I have here, by the way, these are not like super artistic photos. These are just a normal photo walk with a couple of different things where I want to also do black and white. So I had some things in mind where I want to convert them to black and white and see how that is. So super boring. Boring. Potential black and white. Boring. Here I wanted to test the sharpness of the camera actually a little bit for something completely different. So reject, reject, reject. Not good, not good. Has potential. Very boring. This has potential for black and white, so I'll keep it. Bad. The balloons are really in a bad position. Talking about balloons. Yeah, here I wanted to frame the balloons. Let's keep this one and see if we can do something with it. Or vertical. Wait. I don't like this vertical. Don't like this vertical. Maybe this one. Oh, sorry. I marked this one. What the wrong key. I like this one better actually. Black and white, boring, 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 maybe. Okay, cool. So this was now the quick filtering that I usually do when I go through my photos. So that's like a really quick process. I use mostly gut feeling, just to see like what do I like, what do I not like. Just a very quick filtering. And now what you can do in Lightroom, at the bottom here, lower right, you have either filter by stars or by color. So now, for example, I say, just show me the green pictures. I clicked on the green on the lower right, and now I have only the green pictures. So everything else doesn't interest me now for the rest of this session. So this is my approach to quickly filter down the photos, which I even consider editing. Anyway, so I think now that we get closer to the editing, just a quick thing for all of you. What I always do when I edit photos, no matter which tool, is I want to see where I have highlights blown out or where the shadows are too dark. In Lightroom, I found out you can do that up here. You can click on this triangle here to hide or show shadow clipping, and here the highlights clipping. The shadow clipping is this blue thing here. So see, if I turn this off, it's gone. So you would know that there's like some shadow clipping going on, and highlights we see here. I can turn this off and on. And so we know that we need to do something there. We'll need to figure out where that is in Lightroom. Again, oh, I see this is designed by Pininfarina. Okay, good. So I think what we should do first is wait, let me quickly check something. We will try to figure out first now where this shadow clipping is. I guess it's in color. No, it's, where is it? It's here in color grading. Okay, let's see, is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so here in color grading, you have these little sliders, very similar to Capture One, for like highlights, shadows, and midtones. So you've seen, like, if you go like extreme here to the left, you see more shadow clipping, and the more you go to the right, the more you have too bright shadows. So all what we want to do is we want to move this slider so that the shadow just disappears, right? So it's just a very, very tiny slider movement, nothing else. And then that is gone. And now for the highlights, we do the same thing. So we see some highlights here on the door. We see some highlights here. So I'll do here the same thing. Yeah, so we went a little bit too far, like this. No more highlights clipping. So that's already like the first thing. Now the next thing, what I want to do is I want to go and quickly see how to rotate and how to crop. I assume rotation is here. Yeah. Yeah, the image is not straight. Where in Lightroom can I change the grid? The grid. Ah, yeah, with O. Okay. Let's keep this one. Let's keep this one for now. Okay, and rotation also works here. I know that there is, oh no, this is not rotation. This is rotation. I know that there is a function to also auto-rotate. Actually, you know what? So this would be the right rotation, but I want to check, what does auto actually do here? There's an auto button. Straighten the photo. Oh, perfect. Yep. There we go. So that's already done. We see it here now that these pipes are straight. So we know now the picture is rotated correctly. Again, what I think is interesting in this photo is the guy here in the background standing here in front of the Swiss Railway logo, the SBB. I think the crop is not too good yet, but I think this is good for now. So I will move on to the next photo and do this now for all the photos before we go into editing. Let me quickly check the chat. Hi Ruth. Nice that you're here. Cool. Hi. All right, back to Lightroom. Again, my chat is in the background, so excuse me if I don't see it immediately. I'll go from time to time into the chat and see if anyone wrote something. So let's go to the next photo, just quick. So here, it's interesting. We don't have any clipping in this one. Fine, good. It's also pretty straight, so we can keep it. Here we have some clipping in the highlights. So let's get rid of those. Already done. Looks good. Next one, highlight clipping. Removed. Shadow, I don't see any shadow clippings here. No clippings. Here we have shadow clipping. Gone. Let me know also if you do this first. So I really like to first see that my image is technically kind of like in a good shape for editing. So to remove all these obvious faults, like either not straight or if there's some kind of like clipping going on. And that's how I like to get started. Now, the next thing is I want to decide which ones to turn into black and white. I think this one would be one. Now, this is now the first thing that I need to figure out how to make an image black and white in Lightroom. Any hints? You can use the chat. Is it in transform? So again, this is now where I need to learn where are the things in Lightroom, or is it here in basic? Oh, here in basic, black and white. There we go. Okay. So this one's black and white. I'll do the cropping and so on later. Actually, you know what? This photo, I don't like at all. I will also remove this one. This one as well, black and white. Oh, I see here the horizon is not straight. Let's see. Let's do this auto alignment. Where was it? Here in rotation. See, I'm still a little bit slow, but it does a good job. Cool. This is really from the workflow. You wouldn't believe it. Like the tools are pretty much the same if you use Capture One or Lightroom. I mean, if you know one of them, all you need to do is actually find the right function in the other tool. It's just in a different place. I think function-wise, I do not really expect to find anything significantly different here than in Capture One. But yeah, Forgotten Americana said earlier, there's this AI masking. I've never done it. Let's see, maybe we can get there and play a little bit around with that. Cool. So we've got this one. So it looks like there's a lot of potential for black and white, black and white, black and white. And we'll do, or we will try also to do some enhanced black and white editing. Like in black and white, as you've seen, you can click this button black and white, but there's more you can do. As you've seen, when I click the black and white button, this thing here on the right opened the B&W one, and I assume if this is the same then in Capture One that you can take each and every color from the color information from the photo and emphasize or de-emphasize. So for example, the grass is green, right, in a color photo. So I assume when I move the slider here, I can emphasize it or not. Yeah, do you see? If I move the green slider, like I can do stuff with the originally green color. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that the screen is a little bit darker. So as you've seen, I pulled this a little bit to the left to have the green come a little bit down, give a little bit more contrast, that the picture is not like completely flat. Maybe later we can also figure out, I'm curious to see where the linear gradients are, just to have a linear gradient coming from the bottom to the top. Yeah, there we go. Let me check the chat quickly. If you do a lot of color to black and white, DxO Nig plugin called SilverFX Pro is a good companion to Lightroom. Oh, cool, true. I totally forgot about the Nig plugin. I remember, I think it was 2014 or 15. Before it was bought, I think by Google, right? I used the Nig suite a lot for black and white. I should check it out. Thank you for the tip to see where the Nig plugins is. It looks like, yeah, it's now owned by DxO. Thanks, Forgotten Americana. Cool, yeah, I'll do that. Then here, there's a lot we need to do here with the background to see what we can pull, but nothing else to do here. Also here, no specific color that I need to pay attention to. I just realized that here we have some shadow clipping. Let me quickly just remove that one. Here we go. And then we'll go into cropping. I also want to learn a little bit the keyboard shortcuts. So for example, for crop and so on and so forth, I typically use shortcuts. So I'm not really, I don't like using the mouse too much for things that there are like keyboard shortcuts. But I think here we're kind of like, okay, I think, actually, you know what's interesting? The horizon here is not completely straight. I'm totally curious if it can straighten this horizon as well. That would be magical. Let's see. It did it. Perfect. All right, so this is a good start, I would say. Now, let's start with cropping. So I assume it's C. Let me try. No, C is not the cropping. What is the button for cropping? Oh, now I'm in crop overlays R. Okay. So let's see. We have a little bit of like too much up here. Actually, you know what? Here's something that Capture One doesn't have. In this overlay in Lightroom, if you press the O button, I'll press it now a couple of times. You see how these grids change, and it is really amazing. You can have different types of information that this grid can give you so that you can align your stuff with the things that are interesting to you. Do you see, like, you can have these kind of like interesting points in a picture that it can point you towards. So I really love that one. Let me also just quickly, before I stop cropping this one, go to the chat and see if there's anything more. Yes, they were bought by Google. Yeah, that with Google I heard, and then DxO, super cool. Are there layers in Lightroom? No, there are no layers. Yeah, I think this is one of the things that I will probably miss. Yeah, the layers, I really like that, especially with the gradients, healing layers. You could blend, show them, hide them. That's really cool. So yeah, actually, you know what, rangefinder, this is interesting. I worked with Lightroom up to version 6 as well. And then I think I had, and this was actually when I bought my Leica M-D. And when I used it for a year or something, I realized, and many people told me that for Leica, the raw editor in DxO, in Capture One was better. And I got curious, and I got Capture One at the time, and it blew me really away. The raw editor was really amazing. And so I also more or less ditched Lightroom after 6 in a short period of Creative Cloud. But yeah, rangefinder, I think, as far as I know, and I've seen so far, there are no layers in Lightroom so far. Okay, so let's see here quickly. Yeah, this I really appreciate here. You see, for example, now maybe I will align this window of the train here to this line that we have in this kind of like crop mode, and we have this person almost in the middle of this inner middle section. We avoided this track here. The second one we can probably not avoid. I think I can go a little bit more here. Yeah, I think this is a crop that I want to keep for now. Let's keep cropping. Again, today, again, I pressed C. It's not about perfection right now. I just want to go a little bit through a function, and also that you see how Lightroom feels for someone who's experienced in Capture One, and how easy or hard it is for me. So at the moment, it seems easy. I'm not missing a lot of things other than, yes, the layers are actually fantastic in Capture One. We have a bird here in a very weird position. I wish it was further to the right, but nothing I can do about that. I think we also need to straighten the horizon quickly here. Yeah, I think it does a really good job with the auto leveling. All right, so let's see what we can do here. So for example, now I take this crop mode, and what I will try to do is I will try to put that clock in this, you know, do you see this? In either the this over, like, how do you say it, like this intersection. And what is also interesting in this shot, and I admit I haven't seen this in the photo, but if you see the diagonal here that goes down, it goes straight through this person. This is really amazing. So the only thing what we can do is we can see if we can make something interesting here by hitting. You see here we hit now the water and the grass or the stone and the person and this. Yeah, I think like this. You see, in this is now a lot more interesting as a photo. Actually, you know what? I think I want to break this rule a little bit. I like it if it has a little bit more room, but I want to keep the light, the clock in this thing. Oh, by the way, the aspect ratio, I want to have it original 3:2 from Leica. I don't want to have a different crop. Yeah, there we go, like this. Actually, you know what? Let me give this bird also a little bit of breathing room here. There we go. I think this works for me. Cool. All right, so we are done with this one. We have this one here left. Let's see, is this really that interesting? Let's crop this one quickly with a different cropping mode. Here we see already in the shot that the horizon is basically almost mathematically correct already here on, yeah, the golden ratio, more or less, like, or this, not, it's not the golden ratio, how's this crop called? This thing on the right, I don't want to have it all there. Let's see, what else can we do here? Yeah, I think this one works because I want to have this sculpture in the middle of the frame. We're done here. Oh, sorry, wrong picture. Let's see, can we do anything with this one? And by the way, I also don't want to have this stream go too long or to bore you. It's really just like a chat and chill. So you just let me know maybe if you have questions, and like you already did in chat, that's really amazing. Just yeah, let me know what you think, or if you have any tips for me while I'm going through all of this right now. Here we go. So this is, I want to retain that top part. The bottom is very boring for me. I think this works. What would be interesting for me is, does it know how to correct the lenses actually? Does it know how to correct a lens? Lens correction. So I shot this with the Leica M-D 50mm aposumicron. Enable, oh look, it recognized it. Aposumicron. What's the difference here? Okay, it did some minor correction, not too much. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is not the best photo. Anyway, I think this one has more potential, but there's way too much going on the right side. Although I like the tree. Actually, you know what, like this could work. Okay, that's it. And here, oh, I keep pressing C. Actually, the ducks are funny. Why does it not auto lock my aspect ratio? Okay, this is really, really not a good shot. I think there's not a lot I can do here. Yeah, let's forget about this one. Oh yeah, this one changes the ratio. Okay, this one I will discard now, and then we're done with this one as well. Okay, good. So, all right, now I think we have 4 black and white photos. I want to actually de-stress some of these because I don't want to edit this one. I want to try this one just to see what I can get out of the Leica M-D. And here I want to see what we can get out of the background. Here the composition is okay. And here I want to try the linear gradient, and here just a little bit of color editing. And then I think I will wrap it up. So I don't know, how far are we in the stream? Yeah, I would say like half an hour or so. again, unless you guys are active, you have questions, comments. Talking about questions and comments, let me check the chat quickly. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Thank you. And please also let me know in chat if you have other suggestions while I'm cropping, for example, because I would also like to learn from you. I always like to learn. Cool. So this one, I think we're good. So I don't want to color grade this one per se, because I'm not looking for perfection in these shots. I will not apply lens correction to all of the photos. I don't know, do you use lens correction on all of the photos? I really rarely do it, just if something seems very odd. And earlier on that one shot, I just wanted to try what it does. But usually I really like the look, at least for the shots with the Leica camera. So yeah, good. So let's see. It's so interesting. I look at this photo now. I have a color, how do you call it? Like not color balance monitor, color calibrated monitor. And it looks so good already. Also here for me, the shadows. There's really not a lot I want to do to this picture here. What is interesting with the Leica M-D, by the way, since for those who are live here now, don't have a Leica M-D, it's a Leica digital camera with no back screen. And because it has no back screen, you have no menus whatsoever. And because you have no menus and nothing, the camera only runs in auto white balance. So everything that you've seen here is basically an auto white balanced image that Leica tries to guess the colors. And so maybe I want to try and see what happens here with the color. I don't know if this is the right color temperature here. Just, oh, sorry, wrong direction. Because for me, the red actually doesn't look like this. If let me try 4500 here, and I might have to color balance, color correct the image. Yeah, I probably have. This is not the red that I'm used to. By the way, I'm trying now to figure out how to color correct. How do I pick a color? Like in Capture One, you can like get a picker, a color picker. You can click on a like area of the picture, and then you can use your mouse for increasing, decreasing saturation, luminance, and so on and so forth. If any one of you know how this works in Lightroom, I would be grateful. I just see here the colors, but I can't pick them. What do I need to pick? No, this is picking a neutral target. I don't want to do that. Let me know in chat if you know how to do that. How do I pick the red here so that I can modify it? Because I mean, I can use the sliders, right? But I don't want to use the slider. Here in HSL, maybe? Oh yeah, I think it's this one. Yes, there we go. Yeah, same here. It's really like it's like in it is like in Capture One. Yeah, but you need to be very careful. I just realized that we need to be very, very, very careful here. Yeah, this looks a little bit more, at least I don't know how it looks on YouTube, but at least here it looks better now. I just saw in chat, Ruth, you said you used the pipette. Is it this one here where the white balance is the white balance selector, or did you mean this thing that I just clicked here, the adjust hue by dragging in the photo? Or did you mean you use the pipette to choose the neutral color and then have Lightroom figure out all the other colors? Because maybe you meant that one. And I was just wanting to selectively change the red of the train. Yeah. Oops, sorry. I think other than that, you know what, just for fun, I want to try the tone curve just to see how the tone curve behaves here in Lightroom. So we can brighten a little bit at top, you know, this typical S-curve to start with, and then, oh, it's so minimal that I need to do changes here because the exposure by itself is already, okay, the up and down tool, yep, yep. I guess this one here in sorry, in the HSL and color thing. Yep. Cool. Yeah, look, this is all I would do here. So what have we done? We straightened the horizon, we cropped the image, we made sure that there's no clipping, neither in the shadows nor the highlights. I corrected the red color on the train based on how I recall the red. Again, this is not scientific, but it was too orange for my taste when I think of how the trains look here in Switzerland. Okay, Rude, I just saw your chat, the white balance one. Okay. And that's it with this photo. Again, there's not a lot more I would want to do with this one. Now let's do this black and white thing, because I think this would be interesting. What I want to figure out now is how to do a linear gradient. So that means I want to have like a gradient that goes from the bottom to kind of like the middle of the image, where the bottom is like darker, and then through translucency or opacity becomes more and more transparent going further up. Where would I find that? It's the crop overlay, healing, red eye correction, masking. Is it in masking? No. Here's the AI thing, huh? Subject, sky, background. Oh, here's the linear gradient. It was here. Okay. How would that work? Let's see. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. Perfect. And now I can drag the exposure down, I guess. Yeah. But not too much. We want to be subtle, right? So see, this is just like minimum. I mean, it's always just personal taste, right? But I'm not a big fan of like super heavy edits, right? Like, I mean, obviously, if you would have never seen the original picture ever, and I would do something like, you know, this, let me turn off the clipping. You know, it would be the picture that you see, for example, on social media or whatever the first time, and you would like, okay, cool. It was kind of like, I don't know, a shadow there or something, but there was never one, right? But I personally do not change my photos that much. So I really want to keep it subtle here. I want to do something that actually I learned from one of you in one of my former live streams when I was in Capture One, and I worked on a black and white photo, and I was working on the tone curve, right? So I was doing this, you know, let's do the typical S curve again, just for the sake of it. And then one of you said in chat, and I don't remember who, and if you are now here while I'm live, said, no, don't start with the tone curve. First, go and see if you can pull down the midtones a little bit, just to give the midtones more contrast and take a little bit the, I don't know what you want to call it, let's say the breathing room out. How do I reset this curve now? Reset all. So let's try that first, because before we go in here, and I guess it will also be here in color grading. And here the midtones. See, when I change the midtones, a lot is already changing here, right? So we see, for example, in the background, the houses on the hill are a little bit better visible if I pull this down already. So I pulled the midtones now a little bit down first, so I don't know, I'm -26 now. And now I would go into the tone curve and see what else I would want to do. So I think here on the highlights, I don't really want to do a lot more because they are already very, very bright. Let's see. We will not get it even unless we work with more masks, obviously. What's here? Another bird. You know what? This would be a good test now for some healing magic. Let's see. What do we have here? Content aware remover, heal, and clone. Content aware remover sounds good to me. It's just too big. Too big. Let's go to 40. Let's see if it can remove the bird and make the hill look okay. I would say not quite. Let's make this a little bit smaller because this was way too extreme. Let's just do it like this. Yep, perfect. Bird is gone. Excuse me. By the way, Capture One also does that. They have also some kind of intelligence there. I really like that when you can remove such small objects. I just want to see if there's anything we can do with the shadows here. I mean, they're very natural because we had very bright evening light coming in here. But I want to see if I lift the shadows a little bit, how this looks like. Yeah, I would just lift them like this, that it's not too dark here. Yeah, look, this is kind of like it, what I would do with this photo. With this, I would like, yeah, I think with this I can live. So we have this one done, we have this one done. Now we have the next one. Let me quickly go to chat just to see if anyone else wrote something. Ah, cool, yeah, thank you, masking, exactly. It's really cool. I must say intuitively, I would not have looked there, but it makes absolutely sense that it is in masking. Here we do the same, by the way. We just do the mid-tone thing a little bit further down. Doesn't change a lot. We can actually here we can pull it a lot down because the ship looks now really good. It was way too bright. Oh, there's a person here, just like an interesting crop even here. If I had like a, I don't know, an M10R with 45 megapixel, there would be some interesting stuff going on like this. But yeah, Leica M-D, 24 megapixel. There's something here. We can try healing here as well. Let's see, content aware heal. There we go, gone. I'm really impressed by the sharpness here. This is great with this person here. I didn't realize, because like when you're standing here with the 50 mil, he was so far away, I didn't realize there's something going on. What's going on here? Oh, someone's swimming here. I think this image, by the way, has a couple of crops that are possible. Let me try something. In Capture One, you can clone an image, like here in the library at the bottom, and you can work on like 2 copies. Let me see, how does that work here? I don't see how this works. View options. Copy settings. Convert to black and white. Ah, here, create virtual copy. Am I blind? Sorry. Here we go. Create virtual copy. So I think here we have the potential for other crops. Ah, again, the crop is not locked. There we go. I want to see, first of all, a vertical crop here. To have this person, look, the horizon on the golden ratio, the person in the middle, this sculpture almost perfectly in the lower left third. So this is definitely a crop that is possible in this image. Let me virtual clone this one more time, just so you see what I sometimes do with these virtual clones when I edit by myself. I play a little bit around with different crops just to see what else is possible. I really like this person here. It's a pity that we have these signs here in the foreground, or these, yeah, there's not much possible with this, the resolution of this camera. But yeah, so I think just as a tip, I think it's always worth to play a little bit around with different crops. Okay, let me delete this virtual copy. Uh-oh, is it remove photo? Remove, just a copy, okay, good. All right, last but not least, this one is way too dark. So when I shot it, again, Leica M-D, no display, you just shoot by, you know, your feeling, or like if you would shoot analog, I measured the light wrong here. I actually don't like the persons here on the left. Let me crop them out quickly. So I need to do a lot here, I think, with the light. So first, the exposure needs to go up. Oops, sorry, that was too much. I realized the sliders feel a lot more sensitive on the mouse, for me at least, in Lightroom compared to Capture One. It's like one of the big differences. Wait. I think here we need to go and check the tone curve a little bit. I would almost like, yeah, if it's like a little bit like mystical. And I mean, there's some mist in the air here, or and here, I think with the shadows, we need to do something. Let me pull them, because I want some detail. Look, there's like incredible detail, by the way, here in the shadow in the raw photo. I mean, this is way too much for this photo, but so we can, it retains the shadow incredibly well, the chip. I'm actually thinking of maybe trying out a Leica M11 sometime soon and maybe do a video. I don't know if there will be interest, but I want to try out what the M11 can do with that sensor. Not so much because of the 60 megapixel it has, but really just this, I want to try it at night. I want to try it in bright daylight with high contrast, just to see how much has been, yeah, done on that chip. Yeah, I think this one is still too bright. There we go, because it is shadow. It should be shadow. What I also see here on the left, we have a little bit of this hill here. I want to crop that out as well, maybe like this. And also we see that we have some highlights here going on that we want to get rid of. Okay, I think what can be done to this photo as well is something like vignetting. Is this here post crop vignetting? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not the biggest fan of vignetting, but on photos like this, also here minimal -5, can give a little bit of focus. Also, what can be done in this photo, by the way, is also trying to play around with different crops, or maybe a vertical one. But I think that's kind of like the crop that I wanted to try today. Let me check. Luminance masking, then you can target the tree. Okay, how does that work? If you don't mind putting that in chat, that would be interesting. Let me go here. So there is like, oh, sorry, in masking. So we have radial gradients, linear brush. Never done that. Would you kind of like brush the tree in, or how would luminance masking work? Oh, here, luminance range. Okay. Oh, wow. Click anywhere to sample color, light, depth in your image, then apply adjustments. Okay. Wait, let me undo this. That's so weird. Where am I here? Down. I somehow completely lost this masking thing. Wait, so if I click here on masking, wait, I can click here, delete all masks. No, it's not like that. Oh my god, where's that thing gone? With the, you know, where you can make linear gradients and delete all masks. Okay, close. I am completely lost now here, and I think this is more or less now UI related for me. I don't see where the mask stuff is now gone, where I could select, for example, linear gradients and so on and so forth. Oops, sorry, wrong button. This is interesting. Preset texture. There's something here. Oh, now this thing is back. I must say I have no idea how this works. Delete luminance range, mask, delete mask. Okay, now I'm at least back where I was. Luminance range. So as I understood you, Rude, you can click on somewhere here in the image. Let's say here. Ah, okay, now it got that shadow. Exactly. And now that's so weird. So luminance range, I got it, but and then it switches to everything over. I have no idea how to, oops, sorry. So I really love how it selects the shadow, but I have no idea at the moment. No. Okay, this is probably something that I really need to dig into. Hi, S-Man, from Mexico, so cool, hi. This luminance mask is really weird for me. I see that this is probably what I can and want to include. So I think this is the range. But so here with the map, I see what is included and what is not included, what is included now is good for me. So wait, when I go here, how does the image look like now? Oh, no, now I get it. Okay, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. So basically here with this one here, I can select what I want to have in it. And the further I dragged it to the right, the more, for example, I see that also the lake is included. Yeah, see, so if I bring this right triangle, I don't know if you see it in the live stream, this upper fall off further to the left, the less is included, right? So here now the lake is also already included. So I want to make sure that the lake is not included, to just have the tree in there. And then we have here the luminance range. Okay. And then I have this thing, I select the luminance, and then I can move it. Okay, but this is okay for me, like this. But it didn't change. It didn't change too much. Okay, so look, this luminance range route, I need to try this. This is very, very interesting. I'm really not familiar with the tool right now. I get it that up here I can set the luminance range, but I don't see how I can manipulate the. Oh, actually I do. Now I do. I basically can use it now only here in the mask. Yeah. So in Lightroom, I set the range on the upper right, and then here in this where the sliders are, I can now say just on this luminance masked object, which is the tree, what I want to do with the shadows. Okay, this is really cool. This is really cool. So I can go like all dark or emphasize just the tree. This was a great tip, Ruth. Thank you so much. This is really cool. Yep. So the exposure I want to keep. Then let's quickly do the edit. I want to raise just the shadow a little bit. Yeah, there we go. This is amazing. This is amazing. Thank you so much for the tip. I think I got the tool now. Oh yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, the sliders. So that's interesting for me, by the way, coming from Capture One. So here you have all the tools in Lightroom on the right side. So right or left side doesn't matter for now. So in Capture One you can put them on right side, left. But these things where you have now the luminance mask and so on and so forth, you are in a little bit of different views in Capture One. And here what I just realized is that all the stuff here at the bottom, like basics, tone, stays here no matter what like even if I do go to crop, I still would have the tone curve function here. And what I didn't see like visually is that when I was working on this mask here, that on the right side we would have these sliders here that from a context perspective relate to the mask. I didn't realize that they were belonging to the mask, but it makes sense. Cool. No, look, I think now I'm happy. I think we have details in the tree. We have the sky a little bit blown out, like I wanted it to be a little bit more mystical. We got the water. Oh, I need to bring my camera to remove dust. I see I have a dust particle here. We have the water nicely done. The horizon slab. I think this is it. So this here, this crop here, this photo, this, and this is all that I can gather from that little photo walk and my first time in Lightroom in quite a while. So years. I like it so far. I need to get used to a couple of things, I think, but it looks good. It looks good. So from my side, I'm pretty much done with the edits that I wanted to do today. The question, let me actually switch to the camera again. And where's the chat window? So I can see your chat. Oh yeah, the masking tool is very powerful. Yeah, I think that's this one thing, right? I think masking in general, if you work on either colors or light, is really important. It's really important if you want to shape the photo like you want the photo to look like, to give this personal tone. So it's really not about just a crop, a little bit of shadows, a little bit of highlight correction. It's really using these powerful tools to make the photo your own. And at the same time, it's not like, at least for me, like going into Photoshop, for example, and then really making composites. So I rarely do big edits to a photo unless I am asked to do so for like a work that I'm not doing for myself, for example, if it's like wanted by someone. But the photos that you see from me on social media or on the website, that's kind of like the extent of edits that I typically do. Cool. Is there anything else? Let me switch back to Lightroom. Is there anything else that you guys want to see? Questions that you have? Because with the edits, I'm pretty much done for today. And I'm really happy. I think it's exciting. I'm looking forward doing more edits with Lightroom, especially learning how to use the keyboard shortcuts a little bit more and just getting used to the UI. But I think it will be a very smooth sailing from what I can tell from this first album of the year in Lightroom. Cool. So I don't see any other... Let me switch back to the main camera. I don't see any other chats from all of you. Thank you so much for just dropping by in this short, now almost an hour live stream. It was good hearing from you in chat. So cool. And yeah, hope to see you soon. And by the way, I'm working on 2 new YouTube videos. I know I'm a little bit absent from YouTube or this main channel because I'm focusing currently on a second YouTube channel I'm working on with regards to futures literacy, and it occupied a lot of time while working full time, but I will be back with more content pretty soon. So thank you so much for being here today and taking the time. I wish you a nice rest of the day. Wherever you are, we've seen earlier S-Man, for example, from Mexico. So for you, it's still early. So you have still the whole day before you. Everyone else in Europe, have a nice evening. And well, I'll see you soon. Ciao. Bye-bye.